When Americans think of Cuba, they think of communism, Castro, cars, and cigars. And yes, these are all prevalent aspects of Cuban culture, but there is so much more going on below the surface. For one, I'm not sure you can completely appreciate Cuban culture without drinking the rum. It wasn't a beach trip without mojitos in the sand, and the standard welcome anywhere was a Cuba Libre. Cocktails were cheaper than water, and it was almost impossible to explain to a Cuban that you didn't drink. For them, drinking is a social event.
Where, over the rainbow, why would somewhere over the rainbow, Maribo ye 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 obumacho alawede oge. Maribo ye ye ye. Maribo ye 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 obumacho alawede oge. Maribo ye ye ye. Maribo ye 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 obumacho alawede oge. Maribo ye ye ye. Maribo ye 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 obumacho alawede.
Song and dance are very important in Cuba, and most people we met were very eager to teach us how to dance como los cubanos. We took traditional dance and song classes, which made later religious rituals much more significant, as each god has his or her own song and accompanying dance moves. While we also took formal salsa classes, we learned most of our contemporary dancing in clubs or during impromptu classes with our hostesses after dinner. There is no such thing as not being able to dance in Cuba, and many Cubans were shocked at us Americans' lack of dancing knowledge. Unlike folk or religious music in America, folk music in Cuba seemed to be popular with all age groups, and venues featuring folk music and dancing were filled to capacity with people I would expect to see at more contemporary performances. The architecture in Havana has a strange, haunting kind of beauty. Buildings that were clearly once shining symbols of opulence now have faded paint and crumble without upkeep. Some have been repurposed, like the burned-out theater which served as a dance studio when we took classes, but others have been left abandoned, serving as reminders of what once was. As tourism to Cuba continues to increase, I'm sure many of these buildings will be brought back to life, since real estate will only become more valuable in the coming years. Although the Cuban government takes care of citizens' basic needs, most Cubans I met were very poor, and many people take night jobs in the tourism industry. Some people circumvent the law in order to make money, like the lines of fishermen brazenly perched next to no fishing signs, or the swimmers snorkeling by the malecon. I expected Cuba to be very sterile, with Cuban citizens trying to conform to government standards. Instead, Cubans celebrate self-expression as long as they aren't speaking against the government. Street art was everywhere and was by far my favorite part of Cuba. Unlike the anti-establishment nature of American graffiti, most of the Cuban art I saw was a celebration of Cuban leaders and life. As travel between the U.S. and Cuba becomes easier, I expect that Cuba will become an increasingly popular tourist destination. Cubans seem ambivalent about this. On one hand, Cubans need money and Americans have a lot to spend. However, Cuba is recovering from a long and hard history with America, and many Cubans still feel very hostilely towards the American government. Personally, I hope that efforts to appeal to American tourists don't take away the beautiful, albeit grimy, edge to Havana and the rest of Cuba.